Welcome to Real Estate Agent Superstars. I'm your host, RJ Baxter with Intercap Lending, and we have an awesome guest with us today. We have Monica Graves of the Purple Mountain Group at EXP Realty. Thank you for joining us, Monica. We definitely appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, this is our first time doing a live in the studio podcast, so thanks for being the pioneer of that. We're in our new podcast studio, so pretty awesome.
Like I'm a pioneer in a lot of things.
Yeah, no kidding. You were just sharing you were 30 years in the real estate business.
Yes. 30 years.
That is crazy. That's a long time.
Yeah. And the reason how I know is because I was pregnant with my 30-year-old son when I got my license.
Okay.
So that's how every year I was able to know how many years I've been in real estate.
Makes it
because
easy.
of his birthday.
Right. Especially once it's 40 and then 50 years and 60 years. Then it'll be harder to remember.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So how have you managed to be successful for this long and keep it going?
I think the way it started, just to be clear, is I was not a realtor when I got my license. I was more of an investor agent. I'm still an investor agent, but at that time, when I did get my license back in 1993, I was working at Ralph Lauren Corporation and living in New York City. A fun time, in your 20s to be living in New York. And then I just started, making income where I didn't really know what to do with it. I wasn't really that type of person to invest in stocks and things like that. And so, so I was like, what should I do? And my parents were developers. My mother was a banker. My biological father was a realtor. So it was sort of like, you need to invest in real estate. And so I think I was 23. Yeah, 23, the first property I bought as an investment property. And then by the time, like I said, I was with Ralph Lauren Corporation, I just decided, hey, that's probably is the best way to work with your money. And I understood it because my parents, had been investors in real estate. So yeah, I started, I got my license pretty much just for that. And I know a lot of agents do that. They're like, why should I pay all these brokers that? And then when you get into investing in real estate, it's easier for you to, if you're licensed, to find the properties as an investor agent.
Yeah.
And then, so we did that in Georgia and Florida.
Okay.
I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and that's what we did with our, time whenever we had extra time. And so then I moved to Colorado in 2000.
Okay.
And we sold off our Georgia and Florida properties to try to do the same thing here in Colorado because this is where we really wanted to be.
Okay.
When you have a dream of where you want to be, you can make it happen.
Yeah. Well, real estate affords that flexibility for us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you just intentionally moved out here, and we're able to do it because of that.
I was still working with Ralph Lauren, but what I decided is, and you do this, as an entrepreneur, you say, what do I need to do to make my dreams come true instead of everybody else's dreams? So, I was like, I'm helping to make Ralph Lauren a billionaire. And all of my time was being dedicated towards that. So once I became an entrepreneur, I licensed myself out to him as an independent contractor. And then I got on with Tommy Hilfiger and even, about 5 or 6 other designers when I came out to Colorado.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to still be in that field, but be an entrepreneur and do my own time, my own hours instead of being an employee.
Yeah.
And so that was, 2000. So I really didn't know if I was going to be an actual realtor because we opened a retail store in downtown Golden when I first moved out here. Still had the fashion bug in me.
Clothing store, I assume.
It wasn't clothing. It was actually textiles, jewelry, furniture, art.
Okay.
And it was from all of the Ralph Lauren contacts that I had. And
okay.
It's similar to if you ever looked like in a Sundance catalog. It was similar to that.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't know Sundance? Robert Redford.
Okay.
Ralph Lauren's best friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. So then how long did that shop go on in Golden?
It went for a while, and so we had our mortgage company, a real estate, us as investors, and the retail front.
Okay.
So we had that going on. So I was in the mortgage business like you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I know. From 2000 to 2007,
Oh, well, 2007 was a good year to get out of the market.
I sold my mortgage company.
Did you sell it in the nick of time before everything happened?
Yep.
Oh, good job.
Shears and Lehman Brothers, if you can remember those.
Yes, I do
people.
remember those guys.
They went under a couple of years
Yeah.
later.
Yep. Well, good move.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then I focused. I sold the retail store and sold, the mortgage company, and then said, let's just focus on investing in real estate. But that's when I turned into more of a realtor.
Okay. I was going to ask that. I was curious when you really started to focus on real estate.
Yeah, it was probably 2005.
Okay.
Where I was helping other people besides myself in buying real estate and selling real estate. And that became very rewarding, and I was able to be a trusted advisor and have that knowledge of, because I've been licensed for quite a while. So I was helping not only investors, but also it is, it's the biggest investment you'll ever make.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
So it's treating it like that. And helping people to understand, and just that was 2005 was when I started helping other people, but then I actually became a REO, foreclosure specialist in 2006,
Okay.
and so I started selling bank-owned properties, and that was one of the reasons why I knew to sell the mortgage company, because I could see.
You could already see it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because banks were already asking me to list them, and then we just knew more was coming.
Yeah. That was a good time to get involved in that business.
Yeah, and we were selling, me and 5 other agents, we were selling about 60 properties a month.
Wow, really? In 06?
In 06, it was about 5 to 10, and then in 08, 09, 010.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, and that's how I got into the mountains.
Okay.
Because I was here in Denver, and one of the banks, I think it was Bank of America, just asked us if we had an agent that they could give some foreclosures to in Vail. And I said,
like, yes.
me?
Yeah.
Because we had a condo, and so really I already had a condo there, and so it worked out.
Yeah.
And that's how I made it to Winter Park, was because we ended up buying a place in Winter Park because of the fact that I was going to be able to sell those, because Winter Park was a couple of years behind Summit County and Eagle County.
Yeah.
When it came to foreclosures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder why that
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why that was?
It's really strange how things work, about how the money aspect of things work, because like the Ritz-Carlton in Vail was being built in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And we would just have people pulling out left and right. $100,000 earnest money, just letting it go.
Wow.
And I know. And so the village in Winter Park was being built in 2007.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that recent.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually in development when the crash was about to happen.
Interesting.
But people held on, and I think it's because it wasn't as much of as an investment as like Vail, Summit County.
Yeah.
Dollar-wise.
Yeah.
So people were able to hold on.
Yeah.
And then it really started crashing when everybody else did in 2009.
Yeah.
So
that was quite a time.
yeah.
Did you always have a vision to get into the mountains?
Yes. And that was because of having kids. Started snowboarding. I skied out here from Atlanta every year for 15 years. And then I learned to snowboard in Wolf Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I have not been there, but it's definitely on the list.
So we can get it off topic with snowboarding.
Yeah,
You and I going to
we can go on
Japan
it.
together
Yeah.
and everything. That was so much fun.
Yep.
But that was a goal of, coming out here and seeing the beauty of Colorado once a year and leaving Atlanta and New York, big city towns, and then coming into these beautiful mountains. Yeah, it was a goal to at least have a second home here. But then I was in 1999. I was asked by the company, Ralph Lauren Corporation, to come out to Vail to close the Vail Polo Shop, and so again, it was one of those things where I raised my hand. Who wants to go to Vail to close the Vail Polo Shop and spend a week out there, all expenses paid?
Yeah.
In the summer.
Like not hard to find volunteers.
I will. And so that was it. 1999, we came out in the summer for the first time.
Okay.
And saw the beauty of this place.
Yeah.
And just said, why do we live in New York City and Atlanta, Georgia? Because we had places in each city. And so we did it. We just pretty much picked up and moved. And my kids were young enough where I knew it was a good move. And so, yeah, we just did it. And people do that sometimes where the risk aspect of it. And I just said, I think I can sell real estate anywhere. And so that's one of the reasons why I got with the EXP is because of the how, we're international. So wherever we end up in retirement, I know I'll still be in this business.
Yeah.
And so maybe it'll be Spain. Maybe it'll be, you just don't know.
It's an interesting model.
It is an interesting model.
For sure. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I want to hear about your group that you formed, Purple Mountain Group.
Okay.
How long have you had that organization?
So, it was pretty much just me covering Eagle County, Summit County, and Grand County, and still having a place in Golden. So I was driving a lot, and that's when I said there's got to be a better way. And the team concept started coming in around. You started seeing it in real estate. Just a lot more teams were being formed.
Yep.
And that was pretty much the reason is because, if you want to help more people, which is the goal, to service more people, you don't want to be working, 120 hours a week. And so that's when I said, okay, I'll get a buyer's agent, listing agent, transaction coordinator. And that's how I started. So, and a marketing person. So my marketing person is my husband, Michael Graves.
Yep.
My transaction coordinator is my eldest son, Baron Graves, and his wife is my assistant, Jessica Graves. And then my youngest son got into real estate when he graduated down in Fort Lewis, so he's our contact down in Durango. So he helps service Purgatory and Glacier Country Club and places down there. Beautiful area, Pecos Springs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much how it started as a family. And then, I just really felt like I could expand even more or help more people by, just getting more specialists, people that are in different, I got an investment person, Tim Murray, Tim Murray.
Yep.
So he came on board with our team, and then I've got another Summit County, and then I just added another Vail person. So that's really, I'm looking to, I have an agent in Spain now. That's why I said Spain is because,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
How
did you get an agent in Spain?
She came over to join my team because she wanted to move to Spain. So with EXP, she was able to do that. So she left her very great business that she has here. But our team is working her business here so that she can go there and start up a career in real estate and investing. Because she has short-term rentals here, and she has 3 investment properties in Denver that are helping with that income.
Sure.
That she wants to go, if you can dream, say, hey.
Why not?
And that's exactly, like you said, with the model, we're able to do that. And so the team part of it, Purple Mountain Group, but then I have Super Agent Collaborative that we're hitting on 60 agents right now that we're in multiple states.
Yeah. And it's an incredible group.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of you guys, and you guys have a good thing going.
I know.
Yeah.
Dan Gomer and Barry Oberson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Tim, of course. And Tim was on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Oh, good.
Actually,
Okay.
so that was fun.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah, the EXP is a great team model. I love how they have things set up. Tell me more about that.
So yeah, I had heard about it, didn't really know very much because I was really focused where I was as an employing broker, and then I had the mountains, and so then when I, you start getting to that point where multiple streams of income. I've always thought that way.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was probably 16,
Mm-hmm.
I always had multiple jobs and multiple income coming in from different sources, and so that's pretty much how it's set up. It's a model where you not only earn your commissions, but you're earning revenue share from the commissions of other agents.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of the commissions going to the brokerage, the commission splits are going to the brokers.
Okay.
I was
like that.
why doesn't everybody do this?
Yeah. Genius.
I know. And
So-
so that's how it's grown. And so the Super Agent Collaborative that that we're hitting on 60 agents now is just that, where we're trying to support each other, collaborate with each other, because we're all broker owners of the same company.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you earn stock, you can buy as much stock as you want with the company. So that makes sense. I've got, equity in the company, revenue share with the other agents,
Mm-hmm.
and then also my own commissions. So again, that's multiple streams of income.
Okay.
So it just makes sense.
Yeah. Nice.
I know.
So what are your plans? Where do you plan to grow this to the Purple Mountain Group?
Yeah, we definitely are getting into more areas. Looking for steamboat person right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know about Aspen yet, but I love Aspen so much. It's one of the best places to snowboard.
I know, it's incredible.
And so, but I think that, we're getting into Florida right now. I'm heading to Florida next week.
Okay.
So the team, it won't be Purple Mountain Group, it'll be EXP.
Uh-huh.
But that's a great way to get referrals, is from other states, by going out and recruiting for EXP in multiple states. So
Yeah.
I'll be out there all next week recruiting, and we're looking at Michigan.
Okay. Michigan.
Because of the agent investors that we have that work with us here at the Super Agent Collaborative. That's where they want. I mean, Michigan is an area where they're just looking at investing. In Arizona, we've got 2 agents in Arizona right now.
Okay.
So I've got Mexico City on my mind.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
because that's a lot of Vail contact. I don't know if you know that.
No. What's the connection there?
I learned this when I moved to Vail, that there's a lot of people from Germany that live in Mexico City, and then there's a lot of investors or second home ownership in Vail from Mexico City.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's another tie to money and taxes and things like that. So
okay.
sure,
Okay.
obviously,
Interesting.
yeah,
Huh.
I know.
Yeah, I learn something every day.
Yeah, so it's been fun to work in the Colorado mountains, and so yeah, I'm thinking, because I now, this, I moved to Grand Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be in Fraser. I was in Fraser since 2010. It's almost 10 years, and then we moved from Fraser, Colorado, to Grand Lake,
Okay.
and so it's just been it's very exclusive area, and so I like that. I like that aspect of my life where I can get out into the mountains. And it really was wonderful, when people talk about COVID and where they were.
Mm-hmm.
I was really literally snowshoeing and came back and saw on the news that all the resorts had closed down.
Oh,
And it just was so crazy to hear that.
yeah.
Closing ski resorts
Yeah.
completely down.
Yeah. It was an interesting time.
And so then, I was in Grand Lake in a very small community. There's only about 600 people in Grand Lake. That's the population of downtown Grand
I
Lake.
didn't realize it was that small.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was a good place to hunker down.
Well, we've had a place in Fraser since 2017, and that's where we hunkered down during COVID. It was great. We had actually that summer was the most awesome summer we've probably had as a family.
And that's what happened to the, we call it the mountain migration.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll share that report with you. It came out in 2021, and it's still happening. The mountain migration from all over the world to the Colorado mountains, Colorado ski resorts, cabins in the middle of nowhere. So 2021 was that year of just the flocking into Grand County, Eagle County, Summit County. But I would say more in the where there was a lot of land. So Granby, Colorado is just because of just that access of land.
Mm-hmm.
Just so, it was in Forbes magazine as one of the fastest growing communities in the United States.
Wow.
Little Granby.
Huh.
I know.
Well, that's probably why it's fastest growing. It was so little.
It was so little.
There's all these developments up there now.
Yeah. In that little town, when you drive through, it's just like, where am I?
Yeah.
And now it's just changed so much with all these good restaurants and I and the actual ski resort. I don't know if you know, they're adding 3 more lips.
Oh, really?
15 more.
Granby Ranch.
Granby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know, that's exciting
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Totally. So are they putting any kind of restrictions on growth in Grand County, or what are they doing?
No, you know how it is with the mountain communities and short-term rental. The restrictions are there. With Summit County, Vail has a not as much of restriction and nothing in Winter Park compared to like Steamboat or Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Some of these other resorts that have so many restrictions and it changes every day. I feel like in Breckenridge, but it's definitely gotten more expensive with the permits to do short-term rental, where it was like $100, and now it's $1,400 annually.
And it's by bedroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're increasing it in coming years.
Yes, increasing it.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's the thing about the building part of it. What I loved about Golden when I moved here from Atlanta was when they told me there was a 1% growth factor built in annually. That really appealed to me because my goal was to move my family into a small community, small schools, because what happened in Atlanta, it was just totally overpopulated school system with the kids, 50, 60 little kids in a room together with one teacher. And so when I saw Golden and how the classroom settings were so small and at 1%, and then I know that Lakewood, the city of Lakewood, did the 1%. If you think it's like 5 years ago, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I see that probably happening in Granby, where there's going to be a restriction on building.
There has to be something, I think, because the infrastructure up there is, there's already talk of how much it's stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think about, of course, the water is a huge issue, and like just even the road coming through Winter Park and Fraser.
Gosh.
Like, how are they going to handle that when there's 5,000 more homes in Granby and Tavern? Right. It already gets backed up.
I know. We're the highways. They can't expand the highways. Fraser, they're talking about curving out and going, just like getting off of Highway 40.
Are they?
Yeah,
Like a bypass?
like a bypass.
I've heard about that, but where are they going to do it? Would it be east or west or like, I don't get it. Other side of the railroad tracks?
Other side of the railroad tracks where they're talking about.
So it'd be probably up high.
Up high and curve around and go through the back of Tabernash and hook back up.
Yeah, and that would just, who knows what that would do to everything.
I don't know.
Because it would be,
Yeah.
and the growth would go that way. And there's too much good mountain biking back there to ruin it. They can't do it.
They can't do it. Stop.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's good things about it. There's always, some things that we don't like, but at the same time, being in real estate and being an investor, it's always a good time to invest in the mountains.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You know that personally.
Oh yeah, definitely. So have you seen a slowdown in the migration that way? I mean, we were talking about the COVID migration.
We haven't. What we've seen a slowdown of is, it picked up last summer, right before the interest rates changed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the beginning of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Still tons of buyers with not enough sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started to see a little bit more of a balance in October of 2022, where the houses that normally would have gotten sold that summer, we just didn't have enough buyers. Mm-hmm. So we're still in a seller's market, though, in most of the mountain communities. We did see a decrease in April of Summit County and Eagle County in single-family home prices.
Mm. Okay.
But condos and townhomes still appreciating, and double digit. It's still crazy how we're seeing, and it is because of demand. And I just think there's just more demand for the condos and townhomes than for the single family.
Yeah, people probably want that low maintenance and the lower price point.
That's it.
Like it's more of a crash pad.
And it's easier to, they usually have the amenities and things, the pools, the hot tubs, the ski shuttle coming right up to them versus the single family have to sometimes drive to a shuttle stop. So there's all those little things, and especially, like you said, the maintenance. When you add in maintenance of not only you're paying a little bit of an HOA with single family, but then, the snow we just had, that was crazy to see 5 and 6 feet of snow on top of homes.
Yeah.
And then what happens, is it starts leaking down into the home, and you're not there. It's a second home.
Right.
So.
Well, and it's not even just the actual doing of all the maintenance. It's the time involved and having to go up there more regularly. If you're a weekend warrior, maybe you go up there every other weekend, but you have to be up there more to take care of it.
And there's, I would say that when it comes to like Summit County, Vail area, those are more international people and more, the different states in the United States versus like where you and I are. Because we've done ratios where we've seen the ownership of second home ownership in Summit County is about 60% Denver people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's about that for Winter Park. But then when you get into Vail and Aspen, it's way low, the number of Denver people that own there.
Yeah.
Versus compared to Summit County and Greene County.
I could see that. It's definitely an international scene that, like especially Aspen, I can see it.
Oh yeah.
See it there. I haven't been to Vail a whole lot,
but it's but like I said, if you have a second home, that property management aspect of it, you're paying a lot more for the maintenance if you don't have a property manager.
Yeah.
So
where do you see things going in the mountains over the next, let's say, 10 years?
I think that, I'm hoping that the ski passes don't keep getting more expensive.
I think when I first moved here, it was $350, something like that.
I know. And
now it's
like $1,000, and the daily passes. You know, the mountain markets I think are going to continue because it's just the Colorado beauty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just met with a girl this morning from Ireland, and her husband's from India, and they, you know, they come here from these countries that we think are just, you know, beautiful in themselves, but then they come to Colorado and they're like, this is where I want to raise my kids. This is where I want to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just this beauty and access to. So I just think we'll always have that.
Yeah,
Don't you? I mean,
I think so. Yeah, it's not going to stop being a desirable place. Even
No.
if there's 5 million more people here.
Right.
It's going to still be beautiful.
Mhm.
I just wonder about the infrastructure and what they're going to do with I-70 and
I know.
all that kind of stuff is concerning.
Yeah. The more people that can, you know, work remotely, I don't think that like you said, the I-70 situation is going to, you don't have to worry about that because more and more people are just able to work remotely. And so that's why they're picking those mountain resorts. If you can pick, you know, if you live in Texas and all of a sudden they tell you, yeah, you can work remotely.
Mm-hmm.
That's Colorado.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you don't stay in Houston. You're like, I'm out of here.
and that's exactly what happened in the last 3 years, and we're still seeing it. I just don't see it stopping, and that's, you know, that was one of the things that we discovered. You know, when you say what good came out of COVID, that was something that we discovered not only as you know, business owners, but as realtors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was times where I never met the buyer or the seller. It was all done, all online.
That's crazy. I mean, we're used to it on the mortgage side, but I can't imagine on a real estate transaction as the realtor.
Literally, in land, so many land owners were just seeing the appreciation, and they would just call up and say, I've got these acres, sell it, you know, put a sign in the yard, market it, and then you'd never meet the seller.
Huh.
They were just in a different country, different state, and never really needed to be here.
Yeah.
And so that was happening a lot, and it's still, I think, you know, and that was one of the reasons why I joined EXP2 is we're a cloud-based brokerage, and it's not our founder. I don't think he probably did see it coming, but he might have not seen it coming that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was in IT when Sanford was in IT before he became an investor agent, and then he said he did like 60 million in sales his second year in real estate, and he said about 40% of it was all online.
Interesting. And when did he start?
He started in 2002 at the .com crash. You know, decided to get his real estate license, and then 2004, you know, decided he wanted to be his own broker, and then in 2009 started EXP.
Okay. I didn't realize it'd been around that long.
Yeah, 2009, and we're 88,000 agents in 23 countries.
Wow, that's incredible.
I know it's really and it's just keeps growing, and I think it has a lot to do with that cloud-based brokerage aspect of, and we have metaverse meetings. You know, we're an avatar. We create ourselves in an avatar, and so when you go to speak to a managing broker, your avatar walks into the office.
I wouldn't even know how to do that.
I didn't either. And it's crazy now, you know. I'm like, really, and it's fun. It's fun in the aspect of, and and our founder sees that happening. It's going to be by 2030, more and more companies are going to be like that, where it's, you know, you'll get together in big events, but on a day-to-day basis, there's really a lot of times there's no reason to meet face to face like this. I like the face to face, but it is a lot easier if you just, your little avatar goes into the office of the avatar of our managing broker.
Yeah, it is easier. I don't think anything can replace this, but it's definitely going that way. It's going to be more and more. You're right.
And that's why I was thinking, the traffic situation going up 70. I don't know if I know it is a problem, but didn't you feel like it got a little bit better this season? Did you not think it?
Well, we didn't go up a whole lot.
Okay.
It's my personal story. Our kids are freshmen and sophomore in high school, and they're into their high school activities, so we just didn't go as much.
I just think that it felt like it. I felt like there was more people just staying versus the back and forth thing.
It's possible. So maybe over time, traffic will actually get better.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because or we can just get our little hovercraft and.
There you go. Or the Elon Musk tube.
Yeah.
Just tube up.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. That'd be awesome. So is your focus now more building your organization or your personal business, or is it both?
It's both. And as you know, I've always been a recruiter for the past 15 years in this business. It's always been about growing a brokerage, because I was an employee in brokerage at my last company. And now it feels, since I am a broker owner, the more agents that I can help grow their business, it also helps the corporation, the EXP.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I like that collaboration part of it. So I think because I'm getting, closer to, I'm going to be 60 in August. Can you believe that? Like when I said 30 years, yeah, I was 30 when I got my license.
Crazy.
And so you start looking into those goals of where you want to be, after 60. And I would love to be more of a coach. Mm-hmm. I'm an author of a mindset type book. And that book has helped me with forming workshops, mindset workshops, things like that. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the reasons why I joined EXP, is because they give you the opportunity to not just train locally. I am actually training worldwide now. So that gave me that access I had that dream. I was like, one of these days I'm going to be coaching people in other countries. And within overnight, it happened.
It's awesome.
I know.
So I'm curious, how do you find people that you end up bringing onto your team, and what do you look for in an agent that tells you they'll probably be successful?
Yeah, I like to coach newer agents, mentor. So I'm a certified mentor, and I've been mentoring agents, for the last 15 years. But the experienced ones, those are agents that definitely have to have some kind of goal setting in their business. And then I can help them with that. The accountability is what a lot of agents need. And even it's just weekly accountability. Mm-hmm. And as successful as I've been in real estate, and also, just in life, I still like having an accountability partner. Mm-hmm. And Barry Overton he became my accountability partner, and he's a very amazing individual, and that's when I was attracted to him and he was attracted to me. We felt like us together were going to do great things, and the people that we are attracting, I think it has a lot to do with our type of energy and support, because people want that. They don't want to just be alone in this business. And if you do want to be alone in this business, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But we can help in so many different ways, not just in the real estate side of things. We can help in just the life part, having somebody that you can talk to about your personal things, because in real estate, I think it's just like mortgages. Mm-hmm. You can get caught up and work way too many hours. I mean,
Absolutely.
you can ignore the family and just get so involved with other people's families where before you know it, you're just burned out and unhappy. And so, and get sick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what my book's about. It's about how I got really, really sick when I worked for Ralph Lauren. I was the first female sales rep for Ralph Lauren Corporation.
Oh, really?
I was 28 and all the men were 40 in their 40s.
Okay.
So it was a tough gig to compete in, and just show, yes, I can do this.
Uh-huh.
Burned myself out. So by the time I was 31, got really, really sick. And so I healed, got better and said, that's never going to happen again. And so I wrote that book. I started journaling and just writing about how so many people, the stress part of their job, they just don't realize what they're doing to themselves mentally and physically, spiritually, until you get close to death. And then you're like, oh.
And you're not looking back
Wake up.
and you're not looking back and saying, I wish I would have worked more. It's ways I wish I would have spent more time with my kids.
That's a Warren Miller slogan. Did you know that? Warren Miller said, he was always on the slopes.
Yeah.
And he said, no one ever died and said, I wish I had spent more time in the office.
Right. I didn't know he said that. But yeah,
It's so true.
It's so true. And that's the cool thing about your organization. Like I know Barry, Tim, Murray, all you guys seem to have that mindset.
Yes.
Of having a holistic life before, like that's more important than your business.
Yes.
So,
And what happens is your business grows organically because of the lifestyle that you've chosen and the family aspects of your life, that people see how happy you are and they're like, what's she got going on?
Like,
What's he got going on? Yeah, talk to me about that. And then we coach them on how we live, and then their business grows, and then they become happy. And then that's why this whole thing we put together is we are attracting some of the most amazing people that want to live that way, that want to have a business and grow their business, but also have an unbelievable life. And yeah, the life part does come first, the family. And if you're a single person that doesn't have like the kids and stuff like that, you still want to have a lifestyle that's fun and abundant versus just working all the time.
Totally.
So
yeah.
So that's what we teach, and that's what we do a lot of workshops. And then we do an accountability session every Tuesday morning. And then we do a happy hour. We just do so much fun stuff that, that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And team stuff, going out and all going skiing and snowboarding together. But that's how I met you.
Yeah.
Through
totally.
Tim, snowboarding and
the trip to Japan.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, what was that, 2019, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to go again.
I know, me too. It was incredible.
It was. Just to see that lifestyle of a foreign country and how successful that city. I mean, such a large city, and how everything was just so. There was not chaos. I didn't feel like there was chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It was all smooth.
Do you mean Niseko or like Tokyo?
Tokyo.
I didn't spend any time in Tokyo.
Yeah. I was like, this is so cool to not hear, because I lived in New York for 15 years. And you just got used to the honks.
Yeah.
And the horns blowing and people yelling at each other and no car horns in that huge, gigantic city of Tokyo. It's disrespectful. No trash.
Incredible.
Because people would not drop anything. It's
like,
very respectful of the earth and of the.
It's just like you don't do that.
No.
And like even Niseko and getting to Niseko and Sapporo, it was totally. I got that vibe too. It was just people.
No chaos.
Just very kind.
Very kind.
Respectful people.
It's like,
yeah. Just a really neat culture.
I know. And
Yeah.
so, but that's the kind of thing that you want to be here. If we could, if you can show that, then you're going to attract those people. You know, if you respect them, they respect you. And that's the kind of clients that I like to work with too. You know, if there's no respect, there's other agents that you can work with.
Yeah.
Because I have that abundance mindset of there's always going to be somebody that wants to work with me.
Yeah. I love that.
I know. So you never really stress about the market.
Yeah, because there's always, I feel the same way. I mean, it's just there's people looking that need help with a mortgage or need help with to buy a property or to sell a property.
Yeah, there's always going to be, and you that because we don't have that scarcity mindset. We don't have, you know, if the market changes, we just learn from it and adapt to it.
Yeah.
Pivot, whatever anybody wants to call it.
Yeah.
But the mindset is there's always going to be enough people for me to help because they do want our help. They want our expertise.
You know, and I've found that the people that have the abundant mindset are the most successful, even in both of our businesses.
Yeah. And then that's, like I said, that's the people that I attract. And if I end up attracting somebody that doesn't think that way or it's making my job difficult, that's when I'm like, you know.
They get the axe. The Monica axe.
You're fired.
Yeah. Yeah, you're fired. Well, if there's people listening that are liking what they hear and they want to reach out to you, can they reach out to you to talk about EXP?
Yeah, talk about EXP, talk about the mountains. You know, that's what we like to do is educate the Denver brokers about what's happening in the mountains. So we do mountain trends classes. And we've been doing them via Zoom just because we seem to have more attendance. And then I just started a women's group of Women's Investor International Network. And I love that it's WIN, because it was just going to be Women Investors Network. And I said, let's throw that international in there. And all of a sudden I have 2 investors from London. And then this woman this morning from Ireland. So it's just, cool. It's, you know, that's what's so fun about what you focus on expands.
Yeah.
And as soon as I added that international, that it was just all of a sudden I've got international agents that have investors from different countries.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How can people find the international group and how can people find your mountain trends?
So WIN is pretty much invite only, and so we're just doing a once a month gathering, and so but you can find us on our Instagram, so WIIN, and then Purple Mountain Group is our website's PURPLEMTN. We shortened it, purplemountain.com. And yeah, you can pretty much find us all over Instagram and things like that. But our Mountain Trends classes, we post that through Eventbrite, and we do those every other month. I'm trying to think of some other places, but that's pretty much, you know, you can definitely find us on Instagram, and that's Monica W. Graves 1.
Okay.
Had to add that W in there because there's so many Monica Graves.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like that common of a name.
There's 150 just in EXP.
No kidding. Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Who knew?
Who knew? I mean, and that shows how big our company is.
Right.
Is to have that many of. I bet you there's some RJ Baxters.
Yeah, you never know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an EXP. If you want to talk to me about the company, definitely reach out to me. You could probably just Monica at remonica.com. So RE Monica has been around since before RE Colorado.
Wow. Okay.
Because I worked for Remax, and then I was like, you could do Remax or Re Monica. And that's been about 20 years ago. So RE Monica, you can find me there, and would love to talk to anybody about mountain properties, investing, and short-term rentals, or about my brokerage.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mom.
Thank you. This was really fun.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being a pioneer on the live studio.
Thank you too. And then also, let me plug my book again.
Okay.
Inner Being in Balance. And it's the 7 steps to be successful in life, business, and beyond.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can they find it on, is it Kindle?
Innerbeinginbalance.com. Yeah, Kindle, not Audible.
Okay.
Thought about that because I do a lot of Audible, but yeah, it's more of a workbook type of thing.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate it. And please consider giving us a 5-star review if you enjoyed this and sharing it with your friends. And everyone have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening.